I've never taken a CrossFit class before, but today that changes. I'm working on fundamental CrossFit moves and taking on the muscle up with help from certified CrossFit coach Steve Bambinelli.
We have a traditional weightlifting movement called the clean and jerk, which we're going to be breaking up into two separate parts, the clean and the jerk. We're going to be finishing off with a bodyweight movement called the muscle up.
There are all these really technical moves, and do you think I'll be able to do them?
The clean and jerk is probably the less technique-oriented. The muscle up, many people look at it and consider it a high-skill movement, but in the world of gymnastics, it's actually just called getting up on the apparatus.
We began with mobility work, stretches, and a Bergener-style warm-up, a technique designed specifically to condition the body through the power phases of Olympic lifts. Once I spent time on the empty bar, it was time to add weight.
So I'm going to have you stand that bar up fully, stand it all the way up. We're going to bend at the waist, bringing that bar down to the above the knee position, and we're going to start that clean from there. Yep. Go! There we go, let's see one more. Go!
Steve spent time analyzing my technique. We added weight, I knocked out a few reps, and Steve stopped me once my elbows made contact with my knees. Next up, the jerk. First, Steve took me through some practice drills, the strict press, push jerk, and split jerk. And then it was time to add weight.
There it is. Let's get that front foot a little bit further forward. Right foot further out. Even further.
I made mistakes, but Steve corrected them and I continued to improve. But preparation on the PVC and empty bar was what made all of the difference. Finally, it was time to move on to the muscle up. First things first, Steve had me practice a false grip using lacrosse balls.
By having those wrists above the bar, we're shortening that range of motion for one. It's also making the transition from here to here a little bit easier. Now we're going to work on pulling to the rings in that false grip.
On the low rings, I worked on static holds, working into the hardest progression of all, achieving the transition from the pull into the above ring position. And then it was time for my first real muscle up attempt. My first attempt, failure. My second and third attempts, failure. But after chalking my hands, taking a minute and thinking about all of the tips Steve had given me, I finally achieved my first muscle up.
Yeah!
To advance my muscle up, Steve gave me some solid advice. Keep the rings close to your body. Keep your core tight and your feet together, and look down at your toes to help bring your chest through. And when training as a beginner, start by executing one rep every time you train. Follow this CrossFit workout to amp up your game. And when you're CrossFitting, follow these keys to strength.